Kevin VanOrd, Elder Scrolls Online. Why in the goddamn hell are you wearing an Assassin's Creed?
Do you like my robe?
It's an Assassin's Creed robe.
Yeah, Justin Calvert got this for me. Isn't it great?
It's wonderful.
It's great.
Pretty fantastic.
I can also wear it at home. I won't just wear it here.
I think you should maybe not put it onto your
microphone.
Oh yeah, I guess I need the microphone, right?
I feel like the optimal place to wear this is probably at home.
I wonder if I can dramatically remove...
Let's do it.
This. I've never tried this before, but...
Come on! The next Assassin's Creed game, you play as Kevin VanOrd. Also, it's set in San Francisco in the modern day. Also...
None of those... Oh, yes.
Napoleon Dynamite is part of canon.
That's the thing that's happening.
It's great.
Do the chickens have large talons?
Elder Scrolls Online.
Elder Scrolls Online, that's what I'm here to play, actually.
I believe free to play.
No, that's not a thing.
It's April Fools. We can say whatever we want on today's show. It's the best part.
Oh, look, there I am.
There's your dude.
I just have to look over there.
All right.
Is that Kevin VanOrd?
That is, well, I'm called VanOrd. See, my problem is I'm not a Nord, so I didn't want to be too...
Yeah, you don't want to be misleading.
Too misleading.
Wait a second, this is first person. What's going on?
This is first person.
It's Oldie Scrolls, man.
It's Oldie Scrolls, but to be fair, most MMOs actually let you play them in first person.
That's true, but you never see the weapon.
No, you never. This is interesting. Like, you see it over there. They've obviously put some effort into the first person. So, for example, if I try to like tumble. Like, that's what you see in first person as opposed to the grand.
Yeah, that was way better.
Person tumble.
That was way better. That tumble animation there in first person. That was great.
Yeah, you like that? Yeah.
Show me another one.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
tumble forward? Is this like Unreal Tournament?
I'll tumble for you.
Yeah.
See what I did there? I made a Culture Club reference that nobody gets but me.
No, Warren Golf got it.
Yeah. People are like, yeah, I totally get that.
Kevin, would this game be way better if your point of view toppled around in a nauseating circle every time you did a somersault?
Oculus Rift.
No, it could not be better.
Kevin VanOrd, give me the skivvy on Elder Scrolls
Online.
Also,
I cannot jump everywhere I go and actually earn skill for that, which is kind of sad.
You have leveled up.
That was how I played Morrowind. I just like jumped everywhere.
Can you be over encumbered?
That river's pretty.
This actually just has an inventory limit.
Okay, Kevin, I would love to sit here and spend the next 20 minutes talking about how this isn't Skyrim.
Right.
Can you just tell me, give me the skivvy on the Elder Scrolls Online?
Are you some sort of wizard?
I am a sorcerer. I'm playing a high elf sorcerer.
Okay.
I'm in the Daggerfall Covenant.
Ooh.
So and I have a guild. So if you want to join, I forget the name of the guild. What's the name of the guild? The Vanguard Nords is the name of my guild. So you should apply for that. In the meanwhile, let's get into some fighting here.
Fight this thing. Do you have a pet? Did you summon a familiar?
I do have a pet. Thank you, Danny, who's fixing my microphone.
Oh, Lurcher goes down.
I do. That's a clan. That's a clan fear.
Whoa. Can you just look at that again,
Dude, I've got clam fear all the time.
That looks like one of those little sewer dinosaur chickens from Deus Ex.
It does. That's exactly what it looks like.
But I also have.
Get the lawyers on the phone.
I also have a couple of cosmetic pets that I can pull out if I can remember exactly where they are here. It's hard to see from here. But,
I only have cosmetic pets.
Here we go. So I have.
Are they like beautiful butterflies that perch on your shoulder?
No, I've got an Imgikin, which is basically I've got a monkey, a lizard, and a crab. So a
mud crab,
a scuttler, and
there's a dude behind you.
Are you going to get PvP'd right now?
No, that's not here. I could go to the PvP area, but it takes a little bit of time.
That's Cyrodiil, right?
To get there. Cyrodiil is the PvP area. It functions. It's in the Dark Age of Camelot Guild Wars 2 vein.
Okay,
tree demons on fire.
Give me I want the blank canvas on this. Or are we just in a place now where basically we know everything about MMOs because Warcraft's been out so long? Or what new is Elder Scrolls Online bringing to the table here?
Well, I think part of it is that it has a really great. The questing is really great. Number one in this game. That's the thing that I like the most, is that most of the things are not sending you out saying kill 5 of this, kill 10 of that.
Yeah, collect 5 ruined pelts.
They're actually doing a really good job of giving everything some context. So for example, I'm just coming through and fighting these things, but I've been through here before. And when I first did this, I helped the Weird Sisters.
Oh yeah.
So there's basically a bunch of witches that are that use the term weird to describe themselves.
They spell it with a Y.
Yes. So and you get lots of chances to make decisions.
Okay.
So for example, I had a quest in which a man had stolen a necklace from his mother.
Whoa.
to give to his servant girlfriend.
Right.
Oh my.
But when
Desperate.
the mom found out, then he denied it, and the woman the servant girl was thrown into the tower,
Right.
and left to rot, basically.
Wait,
So
and how did you fix this?
Servant girl?
So no, she was dead. I had to talk to her ghost, and then I had to decide: was I going to break the curse so that the family would be set free,
Okay.
or would I actually enact her revenge?
Oh, that's good.
So there are those moments where you get to do that. As far as I can tell, there's no grander, there's no element of that where there are grand consequences for a lot of that stuff, but more immediate
But
consequences.
that kind of is often more enjoyable because then you don't feel like you're playing a game. It doesn't feel gamey.
Right.
It's just like a moral decision.
And also, you're not waiting for some distant payoff all the time. You feel like you're doing stuff. You feel
Right.
like you're living a life.
Right. Another interesting aspect of the game is the lack of interface, as it were.
So you're playing in first person now. Do you
I
actually
am.
tend to play in first person, or are you just doing this for our sake?
It all depends. Sometimes I play in first person just because it's Elder Scrolls and I like Elder Scrollsy.
Yeah,
I like the way some of the spells look in first person when I'm playing.
Oh, we're in
But
dusk.
there are other times when I'm up against enemies that that have attack cones.
Okay,
Where
yes.
you have to get outside of the cone, or you have acrobatic enemies that are leaping over top of you and stuff. In that case, I like to play third person because I can't always see the extent of the damage cone.
Yeah.
A little bit
for
more
example,
situational
so-
awareness.
Yeah, pretty
This
much.
dude just run into a bog and get his horse eaten by an alligator.
Well, the horses are kind of an interesting thing. I'll get onto my horse.
Can you summon your horse?
I'll summon my
What
horse.
level do you need to
and
be?
There we go.
I quite like the whistle.
You can get it right away. 1 gold buys you your first horse.
Really?
Wow.
So,
The horse economy is just totally bottomed out.
but then getting good horses, and you can feed your horse to help his stats.
Can one of the stats be flying?
No, sadly.
I thought you were going to say you can feed your horse to an elder
No,
god
you
for
feed things
stats.
to your horse. But there is the sad thing about horses is they do tend to be a little bugged. Sometimes you're just like, you get into water and suddenly my horse will just disappear, even though horses are supposed to be able to like cross marshes and things like that. I also had another interesting bug the other day. It was actually part of the Weird Sisters quest line where suddenly people were speaking in German.
Great.
And I was talking to Justin Calvert, who's also playing the game,
Yeah.
and he mentioned that for him it was in English the way it was supposed to be.
That's great.
So, but
Random German.
I'll go to let's go to
Show us the map. Show me how big it is.
So here's
But while you do that, Gaglington in the Twitch is asking how much a month is this game?
this is $15 a month.
Okay, cool. First month free?
Yes, first month free. So
With
this
purchase
is
of game
Yeah.
for
with purchase of game for yes.
So for-
$60?
First month,
How much
$60.
is it? $50?
It costs $50, I think, and then $15 a month. And there are some pre-order bonuses where you can unlock a race for an entire race.
What race?
For a pre-order?
It's one of
Is
the
it
sucky races, is it?
No, is it the red card? Is it?
Okay.
Am I wrong about that? I could be wrong because the code that I got is all of that stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
I got
yeah.
all
It's
of the
deluxe
stuff.
edition.
So I wasn't quite sure.
So you started off in.
So this is all of the game. This is all of Tamriel that you get to explore.
You can even go to where the Altmeri elves are from.
But in this case, I can fast travel. But I'm gonna, I think.
Have you been to Skyrim yet?
No, I have not been to Skyrim. I have to get there before I can fast travel to different
Yeah.
places. But Daggerfall, because I'm part of the Daggerfall Covenant, that is the first. City that I went to. So I'll go ahead and travel to Daggerfall so people can get an idea
Cool.
of what Daggerfall looks like.
Is that based on your race or your
It's
class?
based on your covenant. You choose,
Okay.
which does have some. In my case, any race and class, I could be a member of any covenant I wanted to be of any of the three
Right.
factions. As far as I know, there are some limitations for people who are not, who did not get the collector's edition stuff. So here's Daggerfall.
Ooh, it looks way better than Daggerfall looked.
Well,
That's because the mayor, Dagger Dale, has
Yeah.
done a lot
God,
of
here we
Yeah,
go.
but he's
renovation.
weird, man. That dude, like that whole crack video online and stuff.
Look, man.
Where he was doing skooma.
Yeah,
Remember that? That was.
There's a lot of pressures on the mayor, and if the streets are clean,
They're pretty clean.
What he does in his spare time, who's to judge?
Is there all like side questy stuff, a la Elder Scrolls? Like, is there a Thieves Guild? Is there a Dark Brotherhood stuff?
There is. Right now, I'm a member of the Fighters Guild and the Mage Guild.
Is that a dog hanging out under a
I
tree?
don't know yet if there is a Thieves Guild.
Right.
I don't know what the Dark Brotherhood presence
Yo, kill
is
that goat.
quite yet. So I don't know
Danny,
if I can
that
kill
is
it.
a sheep.
It's a goat. See?
He's done.
See, it's a goat. See?
You're really
See?
sad. I don't even get anything for that. But yeah, there are side quests and whatnot as well. And once you join guilds, I can show you this. Once you join certain guilds, then you get access to certain skills that you wouldn't have had before. Like in the Fighters Guild, now I can start leveling up these particular things once I do enough quests for the guild and so on and so forth. You know, Mages Guild here. And so forth.
Is that bit at the bottom, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Is that sort of your hotkeys of the skills that you have?
Yes, that's absolutely
equipped
correct.
right now.
That's absolutely correct.
Are you happy with 5? Or is this a game where you
Well,
feel
I get
like...
those 5, plus I get my my super skill here, and there's also another skill that I can attach to the QT.
What's your super skill? Can you do it to another goat?
I can. Let me find something to fight. It's more fun if
Like an actual goat as opposed to a sheep, which Danny insists on calling a goat.
We call those goats where I'm from.
It's goats on the brain, right? I mean, that's all we're really
definitely
thinking
got
goats.
goat.
Oh, there's one there to your left, to your left,
Oh my
to
god,
your
to the
left.
left, that's a goat. No, it's a deer.
That's a deer. You want to
Murder.
actually waste my skill on a deer.
No, don't do it.
Okay.
Go find a
Murloc.
demon.
Hang on, I'll try to
This
find
game looks
something to
pretty
fight.
great.
It really does.
The game looks good, yeah.
I will caveat that with for a first. Actually, you know what? No, for an MMO, it does look. It's really good, but it actually looks kind of alright anyway.
It looks pretty good, yeah. I mean, just by any standard, it looks nice. It doesn't. It's not breaking any technological barriers.
No.
So
It's pretty.
You know, it is pretty. It has that Elder Scrolls style, but once you start looking at some of the nitty gritty, I mean, this is Elder Scrolls, right? So the animations aren't exactly top of the line, as it were, which is my way of saying the animations are pretty mediocre overall. But you know, so in motion, the game isn't as good as when it's stationary, which again is sort of an Elder Scrolls. That's just Elder Scrolls history, right?
Yeah.
To make the animations look good would be denying the history of Elder Scrolls.
Does that hold true when you start talking to somebody? Like their face is just a little bit.
It's not as quite as wonky as it used to be.
Does it zoom in on their faces real weird?
It does zoom in on their faces,
Nice.
but they look pretty natural. But the lip syncing isn't all that great. Here we go.
I'm going to get through a couple more questions here. Scroll back in Twitch. Ask Kevin, how much does the game feel like a proper MMO? Do you interact with others, and is group content meaningful?
I've done some grouping, not a lot of grouping yet. I've only done some.
Shoot it.
Oh,
Shoot
let's see. I
Shoot
can't
it.
do my thing. It's on cooldown.
Well, then shoot it with your other thing.
A lot
So
of people
we'll
are.
just shoot it. But anyway, yes, you do get a chance to do that, but I haven't done any dungeons. I have done PvP, and we could always move over to PvP real fast before we end if somebody sort of wants to see a little bit more.
We've got about 3-4 minutes.
interaction.
If you
Yeah, I
think you
should
can
be
do it in
able
time.
to,
While you're doing
do
that,
that.
I got a couple more questions. Why Tulip1 in GameSpot chat asks, why is there such a delay between the PC version and the PS4 version? And do you think the melee combat is better than Skyrim?
No, I don't think the melee combat is better than Skyrim. I would actually rather play Skyrim's melee combat than this.
The combat in this feels like MMO combat, correct? Rather
It
than
feels more like MMO combat than Skyrim does. I do like being a spellcaster. I'm trying to get into the queue for PvP. It does feel like more like an MMO than typical like Elder Scrolls, because there's this sense of, you know, your actions aren't necessarily being seen on screen as one-to-one. I pressed the button and the thing happened on the screen the way you would normally expect. There's also a hang on, I'm getting into there. There's also, you know, the cooldown aspect is probably a little bit greater in the MMO. You'd have to wait for things
And
to
you're not
cool
actively
down.
blocking shots and swinging your sword back, are you? It's not like you were blocking in. Like,
you do block, but again, this stuff seems a little bit more hot-bar-ish than typical Skyrim, so it kind of finds this middle ground. It's not bad by any stretch, but it does lack some of that immediacy of offline Elder Scrolls. So here we are. And let's give you an idea of what the map in Cyrodiil looks like.
Ooh, it's Cyrodiil.
Oh, that's not quite
tiny.
there. But no, it's not quite it.
Is this the Imperial City? Oh, there is. That the
So what
Imperial
I
City?
can do is I come in and I can activate the shrine, and now you see what it more or less looks like. So you've
that's
got
cool.
3 factions fighting. This, as you see, the map is mostly red.
Red
which-
team is winning.
Yes, absolutely. So that would be the Ebonheart Pact. That's red.
What a bunch of jerks.
Daggerfall is blue, and you see poor yellow is just having a tough time. Now, this is early access, so I suspect that we'll find things, because right now, a lot of the pacts, the factions are choosing maps that are going to favor them. So I think this stuff is going to be a little more evened out once we get into...
While you're doing that, a couple more questions. Real quick fire, be hardy. Are there giant trolls in this video game?
I haven't seen any giant trolls. I haven't seen much of giant anything, and there are no dragons at all, is my understanding.
Heap Gamer asks, how big is the world? How diverse is the landscape?
So far, it seems as big and diverse as I would want from an Elder Scrolls game. But it's hard to say right now how it's going to compare because I haven't. It's like Elder Scrolls. You have to get around. You have to unlock the places to really get a sense of how much diversity there is. I will say that I feel like Skyrim had a lot more immediate diversity.
Like a Wasp has a question that'll be close to your heart. Does it have a banging soundtrack like the other Scroll games?
It's quite beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not, as far as I know, it's not the work of Jeremy Soule, who now exclusively works with SOE when it comes to MMOs.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that was part of the EverQuest Next announcement, is that when it comes to MMOs, Jeremy Soule will only be working with SOE for at least some period of time.
Okay.
I'm trying to get to battle, so maybe I'll be able to get to a battle before before we have to go.
And Jackson2 Germain asked a question which you've probably touched on already. In terms of the combat, have they improved hit detection and third-person combat animations?
It's better than in beta, I would say. They definitely put a lot of work into it. Would I say it's up there with something like Terra, or even Neverwinter? I wouldn't put it up there. No, I would say that Terra still has the best action combat of an MMO. At this stage still.
When you talk about action combat, you mean sort of like what WildStar does as well, that whole where you are swinging and how you are attacking isn't just...
Yeah, what you do is what you see. Is more or less, kind of the action combat that a lot of these games are going for now. I think that Elder Scrolls finds itself in an in-between, where it sort of gets some of that and sort of doesn't. So that's where the combat's awkwardnesses lie. Sometimes it feels like it's really nailing it.
Yeah.
Other times it doesn't quite feel like it's got that sense of impact between what you're doing and what's actually happening on the screen. So.
Kevin, are you doing a one-man fort raid?
No, I'm trying to catch up to where hopefully I'll have.
It's like Elder Scrolls.
I'll have some. So right now I'm trying to get up there. So
You're getting
got a little bit of a way.
Oh, I see it in the distance.
I'm not sure if we're going to get there.
Yeah, we
it's
may
right there. Come on, you can see. You can even see it.
Fort.
Danny, ask another user question, and we'll be there momentarily.
I'm going to ask Kevin a question of my own. You're obviously playing this at the moment for a review. Whenabouts when you have the review up on GameSpot?
I don't know.
You like to...
But the good news is, well, I mean, people can join in the process because I'm live streaming my play. Most every day there's something that I'm doing, so...
and the best way to find out about that?
The best way to find out about that is, here we go. Now I'm getting some other players, which is good news. Even though this is...
Murder that guy.
I could try to murder that guy.
Did you just send a monkey after him?
That's my non-combat.
Elder Scrolls. I don't remember monkeys being in Elder Scrolls.
Coming at you with the axe. Kevin, don't get axed. Kevin, you're getting axed.
I'm getting totally axed.
Yeah.
That's all your blood coming out of you.
It is all my blood.
Oh, God, that was horrible.
You are defeated.
The PvP, by the way, does put you all at level 50, so there's that was a guaranteed loss on my part. I mean, I kind of knew that.
Especially
going into it.
with wand play like that.
Yeah, I wasn't. My wand play wasn't too exciting. But yeah, on GameSpot, you can find it's called the Elder Scrolls Online live stream extravaganza, and you can watch it there, or you can just follow me directly on Twitch, which is my Twitch username is Kevin VanOrd, and my Twitter username is FiddleCub. So I always announce this stuff, so you'll either see me tweet about it, or you'll get a notification from Twitch when I load everything up and get ready to go. So tonight, 5 to 8 is the scheduled time, because that's Pacific. So, which means it's specifically at 5 and 8.
Pacific.
Specific. Yes. Before we let you go, can I ask you one more question, or ask you rather, how are you feeling about it right now? One to two sentences. How are you feeling about ESO?
Everything is true. Nothing is permitted. No, that's that's
put it on the box.
We're talking about something else now.
You put it up too early.
It's decent right now. I don't really have a good sense of whether this is going to be the game I go back to time and time again. But it nails that Elder Scrolls vibe. But on the other hand, it finds sort of an uncomfortable in between. It's not quite Elder Scrolls because you don't have quite as much freedom.
Yeah.
And that comes across in lots of little ways that I started to really miss Skyrim and Oblivion and Morrowind for that. And it doesn't quite nail the MMO bit because right now the game's not doing anything to really encourage me to be with other people. So I'm more interested in following the story and exploring the world on my own than I am in getting together with other players. So I'm curious to see how that evolves. It's early times.
Cool.
Obviously. So, but yeah, I'm having a good time.
Sweet. Kevin, thank you very much for coming on.
My pleasure.
We'll be back